Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ingus and I'm from IGS Electronics, and today we're going to continue with Invertek Optidrive's drive, where we're going to be looking at setting up the drive in remote control with Twowire, Threewire, and also we're going to be using potentiometer as well. Going to look at the wiring, the parameter setups, and more or less going to run the live tests. And if you haven't seen the last video where we commissioned the drive and did the drive in local mode, that video is going to be in the description below, and also all the manuals, part number of the drive, and related videos that I think will help you out or aid you in any possible way, also will be in description below. Just before we get started, as usual, we're here in IGS Electronics. We not just do the tutorials and things like that, we also buy and sell industrial automations. If you're looking to buy any goods or looking for any parts, industrial parts and things like that, definitely check our eBay or website out to see if you can find what you're looking for. If you don't, then get in touch and we'll definitely help you out. And if you're looking to sell as well and you've got the surplus stock that you want to burn, definitely get in touch with there's several methods how you can do that, with eBay or a website or messaging in YouTube, or whichever way you are preferring. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the wiring has been done, and let me show you our new control stations that we are built for our drives. They are pretty much going to be looking out like so. Unfortunately, my speed controller hasn't arrived yet, so we're still going to be using a the previous one, Siemens potentiometer. So that's what we're going to be using for today, but the upcoming videos we will have a speed potentiometer going in this station in here. So as you can see, the setup is 2-wire control, where we're going to have obviously the e-stop, the run button, the forward reverse, and where we are going to have a jog, and normally would have a potentiometer as well. That will be a 5 cutout station. And the wiring, that's something I need to run you through quite extensively. With this one is, for whatever reason, this drive doesn't have a jog function, unless I am completely blind and I can't find it, but I couldn't, so we pretty much had to improvise, which I'm going to talk through in a minute how we did that. And in Invertek, they have done these type of presets down here. As you can see, they go two combination of parameters that are playing a role in this. Is a P12 and a P15. Whichever numbers you have selected, there's other page you can look at the manual, what each, how many options you have in there. But sort of you will follow these diagrams to get what you want to do. And the one we're going to be working on today is is what they call a typical application, which is an analog speed input with one preset speed and forward reverse a switch. That would be what I would class as a 2-wire control with jog function and forward reverse, and this is what we are going to do. But this is not exactly how we have wired the station up. The station more or less looks like that. As you can see, that the source wire from the drive is number 1, and the number 1 is coming to a normally closed contact in here, goes through it, and this sort of distributes the power all across all the switches. Pretty much that's all it does in here. And then this is our run button, which is our cable number 3, and that goes to terminal 2. And then that one in here is going to be a forward and reverse. As the switch is closed, it will go reverse, and if switch is open, it will go in remote. And that's our terminal number cable down here. If I can pull it out, is our 4, and that will go to terminal 3 as per diagram. And we got this jog button down here, which is going to which is our cable number 5, and goes to terminal 4. It looks like that hasn't been screwed up properly yet. So and to create a jog button, what we need to do, we need to create a preset speed. But to put the jog button to work, it needs to have a run button. And in this drive, as soon as you click the run button, it goes forwards with the full speed. And then when you click the jog button, and then it will go from that point from frequency downwards. This is not what we want. We want the system to be in stop mode, and when we want to run something in a jog, we will need to close a run and a jog at the same time. That's why we are created another contact down here, which is normally open contact, which receives again the source from number 1. And all we're doing here, as the button is closed, it will close both of these signals down here, and also at the same time we will activate the terminal 4 and terminal 2 at the same time, and jog will be activated straight away. So that's pretty much, that is the wiring. Hope that makes sense. And regarding parameters, as I already said, the two things that we need to determine is the P12 and P15 has to be on 0. And another thing is, when you set up this guy in here, the analog preset down here, there's a couple of other things, which was parameter 10. If you go to parameter 10, let me just quickly take it down. I already done the P12 and P15, so be sure to do that. And in here, if you go in here, and in this parameter, you can determine how you want your preset speed to be monitored. If you put any number in P10 as RPM, like my motor is 1380 RPM, so that every preset is going to be set up with RPM number. So if you want like a jog speed to be 5 Hertz, you will need to work out what that is in RPM number. If by any chance you don't want that, you need to take the P10 down to 0, and then it will start accepting the frequency. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in here. I'm going to put that down to 0. So this, the RPM thing is if you're working on lathes or any other industrial machines you want to work with and you want set RPM. So be sure to make sure you set that into RPM, so they can then in preset 20, which we're going to go now. Preset 20, as you can see, I'm on 3.3 frequency, and that was something about 100 RPM. So now I'm doing a frequency. So in starting from 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 and 25, I think. Don't quote me on that. This is where you set up your all preset speed. So for our jog speed, we're going to set that to 5 Hertz as standard very often. So that's been saved up and done. So pretty much that's all you need to do to get your station going. Let me put my cover on and we shall try it out. And before we get started with this, with the test, I'm still using my old Siemens. So the potentiometer is a minimum of 1 kilo ohm and upwards, and there doesn't seem to be any other limitations after that. So as long as it's above 1 kilo ohm, you should be fine. And the terminals you're going to be using will be 5, 6, and 7. So the station, when it's put all together, will look like that. By the way, these stations will be going up on my website, just in case you choose to get one of these yourself. Obviously, when it's finished, when my potentiometer comes in, you'll be able to do that. So the way it runs, you put in the run mode, and you can select which way you want the whole thing to spin. And once you switch it off and you want to jog it now, as per connections we did down there, so see, it runs, moves a little bit at 5 Hertz at a time. And obviously the potentiometer so, and that is our 2-wire control. So having done that, let's get on to 3-wire control. Alrighty, for the 3-wire control, we are going to be going for a wiring setup like so, where terminal mode P equals 12, P12 is 0 and P15 is 11, and that's zoom in. Yeah, that's what we are going to be doing, except we're not going to be doing this bottom part in here. And for that, we basically, that's the 2 parameters that we need to change. And the station we're going to be using is a bit different again. And in here we're going to be using a 2 normally closed contacts and 2 normally open contacts, where the source obviously comes to our E-stop. Remember, every time the E-stop will be clicked, it will remove the power for all the connector blocks in here. So they're no longer be able to do any switching. The motor will stop. So pretty much that was the most the easiest way, not easiest way, the simplest way you can do with this drive, and minimal you should be doing it. So anyway, from there, from e-stop, it goes through the e-stop and then goes to the stop button, and that goes through the stop button. From there on, the stop button and number terminal 2, which I got like number 2, that goes back all the way to terminal 3 for the drive, and then it carries on and supplies the source to both the buttons, where 4 goes to terminal 2 and 5 will go to terminal 4. So that's pretty much how that station is wired up. And let me put the cover on and we'll crack on. The 3-wire control, this is how the station would normally look, but no, in normal ways, most of the drives, they have a selector switch where you select which way the drive would go. But in this case, obviously this is where our potentiometer would go in the future. And obviously we've got e-stop, stop, start, and we start forwards in the normal occasions, and obviously by this one we're going to be activating the reverse. So how that works, so by clicking the start, we've got potentiometer, which again we're still using the Siemens, but the next series we're going to be using a Schneider one. And then if we click on the stop, you're able to start, if you wish, we can start the drive to go backwards. So, and by obviously clicking the e-stop, it will remove the power and stop the whole thing. So that's this is like very lazy way of in an e-stop. Whatever reason, this drive, at least this E2 series, doesn't have like a proper e-stop version for it. So hopefully I have covered everything within this drive. It comes down to 2-wire and a 3-wire control, and I hope that a lot of it makes sense. There are only 2 parameters you need to take care of, is P12 and P15, and in the manual I will actually put like 2. There's one like easy manual, and the other one's like the latest Invertek manual, which is quite confusing. So there you can pretty much see all the wiring diagrams. The easy manual I would go for these type of diagrams. It's a lot more easier to understand, but the other ones they are doing, it looks like with the newer manual it looks like that, which is quite confusing, especially if the amateur is trying to do something in here without any writings, things like that. Then they have to go from this diagram to some other diagram, which completely is very confusing. It's weird the way Invertek done that, but it is what it is. So that will be it, ladies and gentlemen, for 2-3-wire control. I hope that is giving you a full insight how what you want to do, and helping you to achieve what you want. All these stations in many different combinations will be on line if you wish to purchase one, and if in case you want to follow what we're doing in here. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.